Hello, Ms. Stewart. Our group and I will be presenting on development by example. Our group members are Ryan Sosa, Nayeli Witt, Chanel Pitzol, myself, Sandra Vasquez, and Taylor Yearwood. Um, we will be talking about example. What is example? Example is considered as something you mention in order to show the type of thing you are talking about and to help explain what you mean. And what things or example this is talking about is something or an event that had already happened to you or something that you just create or make up in order to help your topic sentence to capture the reader attention so they can know what your topic sentence would be about. They support, clarify, interest, and persuade the reader. And all these examples are classified under three types. There is the extended example, which will more likely be examples that are long, give more details about what example you are talking about. Brief example, just saying the main point. Short example that will help your topic sentence but be clear. And hypothetical examples are examples in which you create. It's not an event that had already happened to you, but it is something that you decide to make or create which did not happen but will help your topic sentence. What's the importance of development by example? Using example to back up statement of fact can add value to your writing. Just like how I mentioned that examples help your topic sentence and it also give value to your writing. It more likely give your writing life. Making a statement without using example can make your writing muddy. It make it lame or something that a reader would not want to read or look at, as well as create more work for reader. Most reader don't want to just go and read something for nothing and it has no meaning or it doesn't make no sense for them to read it. So example makes statement clearer, give readers more information and increase the chances that the fact or idea to be wrongly applied to real life situation. It could either be real life situation or like how I said, create an event or something that did not happen but that will help you make reference to your topic sentence.
Okay, Chanel Pixel speaking. So brief examples. Brief examples are used to further illustrate a point that might not be immediately obvious, but it isn't as complex to the point where you need a lengthy example. Brief examples can be used as a side or on their own. Our locally supported TV channel presents a variety of excellent educational shows. For example, young children can learn their alphabet and numbers from Sesame Street. Imaginative older children can be encouraged to create by watching Kids Write, a show on which four hosts read and act out stories written and sent in by youngsters from 8 to 14. Adults may enjoy learning about antiques and collectibles from a program called The Collector. Each week the show features an in-depth look at buying, selling, trading, and displaying collectible items from depression glass to teddy bears to shaker furniture. Those folks wishing to become handy around the home can use information on repairs from plumbing to wiring on this old house, while the non-musical can learn the difference between scat, singing, and arias on such programs as jazz and opera today. Money-minded viewers may profit from the tips dropped by stockbrokers who appear on Wall Street Week. The information offered makes these and other educational shows on Channel 19 well worth the public funds that support the station. Extended examples. Extended examples are usually used when the author is discussing a complex or harder topic that he thinks the reader might not understand. Wearing seatbelts seatbelts can protect people from injury, even in serious accidents. I know because seatbelts saved me and my dad 2 years ago when we were driving to see my grandparents who live in California. Because of the distance, we had to travel late on a rainy foggy Saturday night. My dad was driving, but what he didn't know was that there was a car short way behind us, driven by a drunk who was following our car's taillights in order to keep himself on the road. About midnight, my dad decided to check the map to make sure we were headed in the right direction. Continuation. So he signaled, pulled over to the shoulder, and began to stop. Unfortunately for us, the drunk did not see the signal and moved his car over to the shoulder, thinking that the main road must have curbs slightly since our car had gone that way. As Dad slowed our car, the other car plowed into us at a speed estimated later by the police as over 80 miles an hour. The car hit us like Babe Ruth's bat hitting a slow pitch. The force of the speeding car slammed us hard into the dashboard, but not through the windshield, and out onto the rocky shoulder because, lucky for us, we were wearing our seatbelts. The highway patrol, who arrived quickly on the scene, testified later at the other driver's trial that without question my dad and I would have been seriously injured, if not killed, had it not been for our seatbelts restraining us in the front seat.
Scenario speaking. Hypothetical examples. Hypothetical examples is a fictional example that is used when the writer is explaining a complicated topic. The writer uses a fictional example to help the reader grasp the concept by relating it to realistic or relatable terms. Like, for example, our family dog Sparky always let us know when he wasn't getting enough attention. For instance, if he thought we were away from home too much, he'd perform his record trick. While we were out, Sparkle would push an album out of the record rack and then tap the album cover in just such a way that the record would roll out. When he would chunk the record, we return to find our favorite LP, somehow always our current favorite, chewed into tiny bits of black vinyl scattered about the room. Another popular Sparky trick was the cat sit. If the family was peacefully settled on the porch, not playing with him, Sparky would grab the family cat by the ear and drag her over to the steps. Whereupon he would sit on top of her until someone paid attention to him. He never hurt the cat. He simply sat on her as one would sit on a fine cushion, with her head poking out under his tail, and silly grin on his face that said, "See, if you play with me, I won't get into such mischief."
This is Ryan Sosa. I'm here to tell you about questions to ask yourself to ensure you're writing a good essay by example. Well, firstly, you always have to brainstorm and you have to find out your ideas before you can even write anything on the paper. Because if you don't brainstorm, it will be very hard and probably inefficient work. Are all my examples relevant? Each specific example should support, clarify, or explain the general statement it illustrates. Each example should provide readers with additional insight into the subject under discussion. That's just basically telling you that the example you give should be clear and it shouldn't confuse the reader. It should actually help the reader understand it more than before and how you previously stated it, because it may have been a little bit complicated at first, but the example should help your reader understand. Are my examples well chosen? To persuade your reader to accept your opinion, you should select those examples that are the strongest and most convincing. Most people tend to have a strong will, and if you want to persuade them, you have to go at what's most popular, or those examples that are most common, that people can mostly relate to persuade them to join or accept your opinion. So if you choose a popular opinion and you weigh on it and you have strong evidence, people will support it. In other words, when you have a number of examples to choose from, evaluate them and select the best ones to support your point. Are there enough examples to make each point clear and persuasive? Put yourself in the reader's place. Would you be convinced with 3 brief examples? 5, 1 extended example, 2, use your own judgment. Be careful to support or explain your major points adequately. It's better to risk over explaining than to leave your reader confused or unconvinced. What that means is basically don't be shy with the work. Explain yourself very clearly. Don't be very vague. If you're vague, then your readers might get confused. And then you have to also be careful not to over-explain, because if you over-explain, you bore the reader and they won't want to read anymore. Linking words. To work out these examples, you can use linking words such as, for example, for instance, to illustrate. As an illustration, to give a clear example, take for example, such as. These are just few linking words you can use to help your writing be more efficient. This is the class activity. To do said class activity, just pause the video and answer these questions. Below are sentences with misused, that questions, I mean sentences. Below are sentences with misused transitional words. Cross out the incorrect transition words and write a better one in the space below the sentence. Jim earned an A on the test, even so Dustin also received an A. The book was interesting, as a result it was hard to read. Blake finished his chores early, meanwhile he had time to play football. Sandy's horse is beautiful, instead it is well-bred. The sailors prepared the ship to sail, otherwise the dock workers loaded the cargo. Please pause the video and finish these sentences.
Alright, my name is Tyler Yearwood, and the last thing we would like to present to you on are errors to avoid when using examples to develop your essay. The first one is a lack of specific detail. More often than not, novice writers will include an adequate number of examples, but leave these examples too vague or general. All examples should be clear and specific and well detailed so that your reader is well persuaded by each example used. For instance, in an essay claiming that stray dogs should be put down, don't merely say many strays can be found around Belize. Go into detail, describing a panting dog dying of thirst in the summer or a shivering dog in the winter. These details and descriptive words will allow your reader to picture an animal in discomfort as they read. This will help your essay because you will not only be able to present your idea and your opinions clearer, but you will also be making sure that your opinion and your views are seen by the audience or the reader. The second example of errors you should avoid when writing your essay and using examples is a lack of coherence. Your examples should flow and connect in a way that is sensible and easy to understand. If your paragraph includes multiple examples, then each example should be arranged in a way that best explains and supports the topic sentence of the paragraph. The topic sentence of the paragraph is gathered by the thesis. Secondly, ensure that each example used is connected in thought to the statements that precede and follow it. That means that if you're going to use an example, you can't make your example be something new or different from the sentence used before. It has to have the same thought, and whatever comes after it has to have the same thought. Thirdly, use transitional devices when necessary to avoid a listing effect and to ensure easy movement from point to point or idea to idea. This will prevent your essay from seeming as though you're just giving examples and examples and examples of one thing carried on. Use transitional words so that as you write and as your work is being written, your ideas will come across as different ones and further aid your argument in whatever you are trying to fight.